What is up, you guys? I'm Charmix, and today I'm going to be reacting to YTP, the 80s Mercedes by The Things. Now, hopefully this will be quite funny. I think, is this like a commercial from the 80s for Mercedes? That all rhymed. But anyway, I think it might be. Well, with that being said, the original link's in the description. Make sure you guys go subscribe to The Things. And without any further ado, let's begin. Manipulating people into buying cars. Okay?
In this segment, we're going to talk about sneaks. Right from the start, let me say that there is only one issue. However, it's not the only issue that must be addressed in a sale. Obviously, if you agree that the purpose of...
Is this not a commercial, but more of a training video for Mercedes?
...is to satisfy needs, you'll have little trouble controlling the direction and flow of the steps.
Maybe we'll let Dana change shoes.
Obviously, the customer's feet must be addressed in a sale. However, we're not talking about feet. We're talking about
Octo Camo.
No, we're talking about something else. Mercedes-Benz automobiles.
Weird friggin' intro. What the frick? He was talking about shoes and feet the whole time.
Let's start with the preparation or the preparation to persuade the prospect that your automobile and your dealership will satisfy a conscious or even subconscious need. Many salespeople find themselves in a dialogue that goes like this. Good morning. I'll buy your car. One of your challenges is to sell again.
I hate the car I have now.
Your number one. I'll buy your car again. Or the conversation might go like this. Good morning. And immediately have the customer tell you that he's looking to replace his 3-year-old. In this type of negotiation, everyone leaves.
I am successful. Okay.
Objection. Let me inject a thought here. There's a science in the automotive.
So this is a training video for Mercedes. Now, I like Mercedes. I think the vehicles look extremely good. They look so good. However, the maintenance required for them, they're so expensive to maintain, and I would not want one just because, one, they're extremely expensive, and two, they break down and they're extremely expensive to repair. That's why I would, unless you know, I think people who are like CEOs of major companies, they can probably afford one. Other than that, I don't see why people should drive them.
Automotive industry called machine economics, which is the study of the machine. What? There's a science in the automotive industry called science economics, which is the study of science.
Okay.
There's a science called economics, which is the study of
eating.
Accelerate.
And it just...
Let me add some thoughts.
Okay.
Now, let me add some words. All too often, the difference between a lost prospect and a lost prospect may well be your neck. This can happen virtually.
Yes, I will, I am not using this as a threat or anything, but...
And continue the process of proving that the price is equal to the price. You're going to find that in most cases, the customers are poor.
It's kind of rude.
They don't want to suffer a turn down. Question, turn down for what?
Come on.
Really?
Come on, let's go throw snowballs outside.
The customer is going to throw some snowballs at you, and you have to be ready to die. Why? Because it's fun. Mercedes-Benz of North America spends tens of millions of your dollars. Best of all, it doesn't cost Mercedes-Benz a dime.
There's nothing worse to
I guess I wouldn't if you're spending their money.
me than having somebody pull out of here in a new Mercedes-Benz.
We thought this might be a good opportunity to give you a short text. Meet and greet and meet. Probing salespeople with benefits, demonstrating, and handling, but...
What?
This brings us to a key question. What?
That's my question.
The car has been
Totaled?
That could be a legitimate statement, or it could be You might learn that the customer is so rich. At the same time, you're trying to satisfy your need to earn friends and turn a prospect into a source of repeat friendship. and which parties. We're not going to suggest that there is only one way to sell. There is just 6 different ways. Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Jaguar, Cadillac, and maybe 1 or 2 others. Well, it's also the way you feel behind the wheel. It's the sense of command behind the wheel. You might also talk about the black window and the window.
I've never used the wheel before. I think they look too silly.
Let me ask you a couple questions, if I may.
Sure.
You know, what are you?
Sure. Why did he do that with his eyes? Sure.
Well,
And this leads to other people in the market for a blunt.
driving. I do quite a bit of driving because my clients are spaced.
420. Smoke.
Okay, enough. Obviously, the more cars you can sell, the more likely you'll be to the customers. To put it another way, you're adding more contention. It's also a means of the customer, might you say? Another significant challenge is to stab the customer. Believe me, it will give them something to talk about.
Oh, it would. It would definitely give them something to talk about. Stab the customer. They won't forget their visit to Mercedes.
And it's the objective of the product presentation and demonstration. For purposes of illustration, let's say you've determined that the customer's hot. Because you know the customer's hot, you have attraction. And what we'd like to do now is take a closer look at the human anatomy. Let's start by examining the customer's curves. For you, it's a
I don't know if that's appropriate for trying to sell a vehicle.
very special opportunity. This brings us to the customer's clothes. Remove them as obstacles to the sale and fully expose the customer.
I don't know if this is gonna help get a sale.
Do you know anything about consent?
Good point. Fully expose the customer without forcing them. Now, you might say, by the way you're dressed. So you ask them to get comfortable. You can phrase it any way that feels comfortable for you. To put it another way, make a good first impression.
Just making the
Yeah, I don't know if undressing them is gonna be a good first impression.
customer
Or stabbing them.
feel at ease. Just make a customer feel at ease. But
Feel is nuts. Oh, really?
Make out on the floor with your customers. Whether you spend 5 minutes on the floor or 50, simply wing it, as they say.
Lie flat on the ground while wearing the suit.
I'm excited. I'm very excited.
And I feel them.
You have to feel up. That's usually too hard for me to do.
To feel the customer?
it feels great.
And I want to make sure they feel special.
Believe me, it will give them something to talk about.
Or if you want, I'll go call your wife for you and say, oh, your wife isn't home or I can't get to her or something like that. And again, you turn right around, you say, I'm going to go get a tag for you. At that point, you just bring his wife into a particular car. You immediately pull it out, you turn right around, you do it. And they
Give them something to talk about, as they say.
follow just like a puppy dog. And sometimes I'll just come dead out and say, I'm servicing your wife between 5 and 6 in the evening or even a little bit later. At that point, there's really not a whole lot a customer can do.
Why don't we take the test drive and drive over there and let her see the car?
A lot of times, husbands like that. Husbands like the salesman to take his wife.
Do they like that?
I take it upon myself to get the proper lubricants.
You don't want to ever give anybody the impression that
I guess you're always prepared.
you know the wife. You don't want to ever give the impression that you know more than they know you know.
If the customer is by, this leads to 3 ways. Even if you're in the middle of the sales presentation.
This is terrific. God.
Whatever it takes to close the deal.
Wonderful.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens.
This whole YouTube poop took a turn. Like, my goodness. It did not start out this dirty.
Trust me. Take the statement at face value and assume that what I'm telling you is true. Believe me, it will give them something to talk about. Good luck.
You might not want to listen to this, man.
1, 2, 3, 4. Let's give them some talk.
I like the remix.
Give them some talk.
This is good YouTube poop. I really enjoyed it. Make sure you guys go subscribe to the things. Go support the things on Patreon if you can. That link will be in the description. I think I'd rate this YouTube poop out of a 10. Like, the first half wasn't really that good, I don't think, at least in my opinion. Like, there was a lot of voice mixing, but as far as things being said, it wasn't that funny, at least to me. However, the second half, it got a little bit crazy, shall we say. Like, it got very inappropriate, and I think that's funny. As soon as he started mentioning stabbing the customer, I'm like, yeah, what? And that's just downhill from there. But yeah, I think I'd rate this out of a 10, probably a 6.8. Make sure you guys go subscribe to the things, and if you're new, subscribe to the family. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Boop!